thing. Give it a Thato Mathiba, but just call me Thato. It's our Ministry of Youth. We do the Youth Development Fund, YDF. Like it's YDF. How many have heard about it? I want to ask. YDF. YDF is a fund that was introduced in 2009 to help young people in business. Anyone who doesn't speak Setswana? Except Martin? Okay. So mix a lot. So YDF was introduced to help young people. The businesses fund all the other years. It's too loud. All the other years, fund in 4 main sectors. Fund tourism, agriculture, services, and manufacturing. But this year, there are a few changes. So, who is a young person? Young person is between the ages of 18 and 35. We should turn 36. As long as you turn 36, you qualify as a young person. The young person who qualifies is one who is out of school, who is unemployed, or who is underemployed. Underemployed are the interns, ba e leng gore ba bereka ditiro tse e leng gore ba amogela 2,500 or less. And then there are a few things that there are a few terms that I'll explain. The term the DEDC. DEDC is a committee that assesses the proposal. Now we just receive screener, and then we make recommendations to the committee. The DEDC is a committee at district level. It comprises of economic planners, physical planners, social and community development officers, environment, agriculture, we have layer, we have SIDA, district officing. Every district has one. And then we also have the other term that you use here, youth industry. Youth industry between 5 and 10. The shareholder business in road. The 5 both take the shareholder employee. Well, you are employees, of course, because the business, but all of you have shares. It's not like Nike Hirleke, for example, is a shareholder. That's a youth industry. And then we also have another group. We call it the youth cooperative. Youth cooperative is almost similar to youth industry. The only difference is that a cooperative has to be registered with the Department of Cooperatives, Ministry of Trade. There's a unit here registered the cooperatives. The cooperatives minimum number of participants or shareholders, because I don't know the word that they use. 10. It's between 10, I think, up to 20 or 30. And then we have the other term here, fund. Fund business. More funding, there are two aspects. One is loan, one is grant. The loan is the amount that you have to pay back. And then the grant is the amount that you don't have to pay back. 100,000. Half of that being 50,000 is a grant. The other 50,000 is a loan, which you have to pay over a period of 5 years. And then you also have another term here, assets. Assets are the total businesses that you use for long term. That I can use, and then after 2 years, demo business in your tables, your machinery, your photocopiers. Those are the assets of business. And then we have working capital. Working capital is for day-to-day business operations. For example, your stationery, your salaries, on a frequent basis. And then you have to replace them. And then we also have the applicant's contribution. Applicant's contribution is business my contribution at a very small scale. That's my contribution. The applicant. And then we also have the grace period. Grace period is in business. The Ministry of Youth business is stabilized. It differs per business. And then the requirements to qualify YDF. ke gore bo le monana. The first thing, o le monana wa Motswana, o sa bereke, o sa tsene sekolo, kana o bereka wa mogela madi a ko tlase. Those are the requirements that we need from you. The other requirement eleng gore gongwe ga ra e kwala on our guideline ke gore o ba o le business ya gago yo batlang go se o registerile the business that you want to venture into. Either o registerile le business name kana o registerile company. Malaysia Municipal has made it very easy. You can register a business name online. O kgona go itirela online. You will need to engage a company secretary, of course, but later on, ha business ntse tsweletse. Ga re fund Thato. Re funda Thato Enterprises or Thato Investments. I get. And then the other thing, ha le gore le kopantse. We need you gore lo thelebe le meet the requirements le banana le sa bereke le sa tsene school. And then the other thing that we would need from you ke gore o bo o le wa gonna fully or actively involved in the day-to-day operations of the business. That's why re bo sa tsene school, because ha o tsena school o santse le go classing re thoka gore bo le go business in full time. And then funding ya rona is in two parts. The first one ke eleng gore ke tabe ke le nosi ile business ami ke le nosi kana re kopanetse re le babedi kana re le bararo. Then we qualify for up to 100,000. Ha re kopantse ile youth industry or a youth cooperative, then we qualify for up to 450,000. Madi a weteka botua is 50% grant, 50% loan. Whatever amount we hilweng mo through the fund, ubusa half ya one. Half ya teng ra go ha repayment period is 5 years, which is 60 months. Those 60 months ra go bolela gore per month o duela monthly installments ya bokae. Ha ile gore se o tsere 100,000 o busa 50. 50,000 wa gagangwa with ka di kgwedi tse 60. Wa gona o duela I think it's around 830 or 833. Madi a teng wa ta bona wa busa on a monthly basis. Ha o sona na wa hetsa go reach your grace period. And then the businesses tse leng gore re ntse re sa di fund totally. Tse leng gore gone ga di affectiwe ke COVID, ga se kganya COVID, we haven't been funding normally. Ke di businesses tsa bojalwa or anything to do with liquor or trading le bojalwa. Ga re di fund hotelele. Ga re fund micro lenders. Micro lenders ke bo matšhonisa bo nkadima ke go tsenyetsa interest ya 20% o bo busa ha le gore o tsere 100 pulo bo busa 150. We don't fund such businesses. Ga re fund di night club. Ga re fund livestock speculation. Livestock speculation re ramo eleng gore ke reka na money ka yonontsha ise itsale ka irekisa. Ga go bitsa bo I forgot the name. Ga re fund mo go ntseng yalo. Or any other business eleng gore molao wa Botswana ga o eletelle gore e dirwe, like the drug business for example, like prostitution for example, ke di business eleng gore ra itse gore di teng but they are not legally recognized. I get. Yeah, no, part of the requirements that we need from you ke gore o le monana o te ona le knowledge or skill in the kind of business e batlang go e dira. Ha le gore ke batla go ira catering, I have to know how to cook, not ga go lapeng. It's different ha ke itse go apela family le ha ke itse go apela morahi. I get food handling processes ga di tshwane. So you have to be knowledgeable in the kind of business e batlang go tsena mo go yone. Knowledge that you can either acquire it through experience or training. Ha le gore ke se ke tsene sekolo sa bo chef, then I'm qualified to gore nka khona go tsena mo businesseng ya catering. Kante ke gain skill through experience. Ke ne ke bereka gongwe mo catering company. Mme bile le bone ba ntiretse a reference go supa gore me indeed ke itse tiro ke batla go tsena mo go yone. And then training ha le gore ga wa ya acquire formally but ona le yone. Like say for example go loga gona le batho ba itseng go loga hela ba sa go rutelwa gope ile talente ya motho hela. We require what you call a competency based test. Competency test ke mo eleng gore we are going to do a practical test of what you claim knowledge in. Ha le gore wa re o itse go loga re go isa go, we have partners ko madirelo re na le GTC mo Gaborone. You go there rena gona di experts ba itseng ba in different fields. Ha le gore batla go loga ba wa teng ba go bona gore me indeed o itse go loga and then ba go score and then they make a certificate gore nya me Thato indeed o itse go loga. Kana ha le gore ke a go beta gona le batho ba itseng go beta hela naturally gongwa ba ya khwaerile through family mo lapeng go ba go dile go dirwa good work. We take you to madirelo wa go dira competency test be ba go irela a certificate of completion gore nya me indeed Thato gona go ira stilo ke se o se dirile be ba go tsenya certificate which you attach to the application as proof ya gore o itse business ba tla go tsena mo go yone. I get And then, more application form on your own. Follow Facebook page, Ministry of Youth. How many are you on Facebook? All of you, I get. Do you follow the page, MySec BW? All of you? Really? Okay. Okay, you need to follow page MySec BW. We put all our updates there. Le formally the guidelines and the requirements. That's why we put all the information. BW government, they are share but the two main pages there are okay? So you have to follow them. So in the application form, how submit? There's a list that we require attach. We require attach a cash flow statement. Cash flow statement, the statement they say super business. Okay? For this month, it's a projection because you know project for the next 5 years or 12 months, depending on the business type. Project the first year, I'm anticipating to spend a business thing, and then am I making a profit or am I making a loss? I get on the cash flow statement. And then we about the whole two sets of quotations for all the items that you require for funding. More form, we'll talk about the form later. Only two aspects more budgeting. There's the working capital, there's the assets. The assets, like I said, give machines and equipment that you use on a long-term basis. And then working capital, they are replacing. So in that one, with all of them, furniture, you go around, go to shop and register furniture every batang. Design, quotation. And then you go to a different supplier for the same thing. This quotation is a paid for the same things that you would be using in the business. And then a license of operation where possible. Where possible meaning we fund either startups or existing businesses. You are trading license. You are existing, you want to expand, then you attach it. But as a startup is not applicable because I get a license. And then we want certified copies of all the shareholders in business. Certified because we want to prove the information so we have to submit the all the shareholders. And then we also want a letter of intent to lease. I get industrial site, most of us. So we get welding, for example. I need an industrial plot. So go industrial plot an intent to lease. Sign lease agreement. Don't sign lease agreements before you start business operations. Okay? Because the moment you sign a lease agreement, that time. Okay? So how sign an intent to lease? Which is not binding any of you. Okay? So a letter of intent for Thato investments, my plot, my facility, plot number on a monthly basis, what about 3,000? This 3,000 to include utilities, motagasi include a metsi, can including monana we do okay? And then we also need CVs about all the shareholders. On top of Mangra Batahorebele CVs alone. CV I get a experience. It's just to verify for information that I have provided on the application form is correct. Okay? And then we also need the copies of the certificate. Certificate is a attended training as proof. I get a form I'm qualified, certificate is tailor making, dress making. So kako certificate attach proof indeed training thing, okay? And then we also need what you call a succession plan. Succession plan in the unfortunate event that Thato wa toka halara sona remufanda, who is going to take over the business? Okay? That person has to be monana. Also all the other requirements that apply. I get it. And then we also have proof of market. this is very important. Ha ke tsena mo businessing, my aim is to make money. So I have to be certain ka market o ke batla go tsena mo go ona. Ha le gore I'm going to be producing hand sanitizers. Ke ya go di rekisetsa Young Africa, ke ya go rekisetsa Ministry of Youth, ke ya go rekisetsa. They have to write di makwalo gore they are willing to purchase the product that I'm going to be selling. Okay? Lekwalo la teng wa go supa gore wa go reka in what quantities, wa go reka how often, le price ha le gore o ka batla go itsenya akere ha le gore ke reka sanitizer wa go supa gore on a monthly basis ke ya go reka di 500 mils is the 10 or di 500 mils is the 20 ke ya go di reka on a monthly basis mo go Thato. I'm willing gore nka di reka le lone, like the letter of intent to lease is not binding, it's not a contract. But ha le gore o setse o simolotse business ya gago, o setse o tsweletse o dira di hand sanitizer, o ntse o supplier Young Africa, o na le kontraka le bone, you attach it to the application form. Not necessarily the whole contract, but lekwalo hela gore Young Africa ena le kontraka le Thato Investments gore o re supply ka di sanitizer tse kana on a monthly basis. Like I get, yeah, no, kontraka it holds more weight than the letter of intent. Letter of intent I get ga entame gore ke reke sanitizer ya gago, but the contract entirely, specifically ha ke batla sanitizer, this is where I go. Okay? And those are the things that you need to attach. And then, more business in Molong, one of the experts in the field. How do you small stock officer is an expert in the field. So we require how fila for an expert in the field of work that you want to venture into. How do you agriculture? Mortality rate, kidding rate, those things. So ba go direla lekwalo le bone gore indeed o hitile ka office ya bone gore o bone expert advice, you attach it to the application form. And then ha le gore o tserwe le thakanetse dithoto le your spouse, you attach the consent gore ke le re Mathiba ke dumalana le Thato gore a ye go tsaya madi a YDF. Okay? Which could be signed by either Commissioner Rama Podisi or the Commissioner of Oaths kana lawyer. Affidavit kind of. And then the other thing that you also need to get the ITC clearance. Like ITC. I want to ask, I just want to appreciate her. Why is okay. Oh, one help. I don't know about eating. Learn. How much get that I tell us our comments? So the upper, we hit over with the karata. You don't have it. I'm not decampaigning them, but most people ba khona go palwa ke go tsaya di loan because ke na le sekoloto ke tsere diaparo tsa batho ke di apere ke paletswe ke go di duela. So ITC how paletswe ke go duela whoever you know mo kolota le dumelane go ta mo duela ba go lista ba go blacklist gore you are not ga o motho o khona go manage your finances sentle. So that's a disadvantage how le monana ona le record ya gore you are not financially prudent ba go blacklist akere. So re batla gore o tsenye clearance gore indeed ga ke a blacklistiwa ko upe ga ke ko le tupi. It's one of the requirements wa tsenya mo teng e tsa wa koposong any post office e khona go direla bana la agreement le bone ha re thela le gore o blacklistilwe gore ba mo se mo sa gore re ipotse gore a mme fund o ta e busa akere. So that's one of the requirements that really come from you, how submit. So the repayment period tsa rona di a harologana. Se re mo ga ke re so fa gona potso ke tswelele. Ha le potso le no dialogue, I'll take them at the end. So grace period, like I said earlier, ke nako e re gore we give to the business to stabilize and realize ba gona go itirela madi before they can start paying. So the grace period tsa rona di range from 6 months to 36 months, depending on the business type. Non-agricultural projects, tsa service, is 6 months. So tsatsi le o simolang business ya gago re ke rekile sengwe le sengwe di a setsamedi mmogo working capital ke rekile, I'm ready to start. Re simola go bala 6 months from there. Gore o simolotse business ya gago ka June, so December, January re expect gore bo simola gore duela. Okay? The poultry, beekeeping, fish farming, 12 months. Ngwaga. Re go ha ngwaga from nako o simolotseng e be re no re expect gore o ka simola go ntsha madi wa busa the loan component e o neng wa hilo. Then small stock or piggery is 18 months. Ke tsa gore ha le ka lebelela re tla lemoga gore this businesses ga di produce ka go tshwana. Business as service bo ga di bogaoge, if I may say so, o kgona go dira madi botoka ga o se ke a roka malatsi otlhe mesetse ya roka malatsi otlhe, but pudi ga kwa e rekisa malatsi otlhe akere le kolobe ga kwa rekisa kolobe malatsi otlhe. And then tsa dikgomo, because kgomo e tsala one mo ngwageng ga e tutulwe ke ngwaga ya o tsala o ka kwa ke 36 months. So ro ha 36 months gore dikgomo tsa gago di kgone go tsala, o kgone go simolla go rekisa boka, o kgone go simolla go duela akere. You can't be selling kgomo kgwedi le kgwedi, okay? So those are the grace periods tse leng gore ra di dirisa when we are assessing the funds. So application process ya rena ntsana ha le gore business ya gago is based mo Gaborone o applyela mo office ya Gaborone, okay? Ha le gore ko mo go ditshane o applyela ko mo go ditshane. All the major villages di na le office ya MySake, so that's where you apply. Ha le gore ba tla Ramotswa o applyela ko Ramotswa, ha o bona hela o tolela ka ga toko nya no business ya go ile ka kwa, you apply there, okay? That's where you submit your application form. That's where you make follow-ups. Gone ko office ya teng. Ya no rena le mo go teng appeal. The decision is DEDC, that committee that I talked about earlier. 3 decisions. Either they reject, they defer, or they approve. Okay? Approval it clear ke yone. Or go approve le go 100,000. Deferring ke mo e leng gore gona le mabaka mangwe a leng gore there's some issues tse leng gore ga ba di tlhaloganya sente mo proposaleng ya gago. They sit on a monthly basis or every 2 weeks depending on the number of applications that we have. Re kgona go ba kopa gore nya mme re kopaneng in 2 weeks, every 2 weeks re kgona go assessa di proposal. And then ha ba sa tlhaloganye sengwe ba e busetsa ko officing. Ha le gore ne receive ke Thato go Gaborone district ba e busetsa go Thato gore nya mme le ka go engage monana le bakanye le belle mabaka a these are the questions that we have. And then ebe ya go tsana in the next meeting. And then there's the rejection. Mo leng gore ga teng ya Thato o batla go tsana mo businessing ya hairdressing me ga o itse go loga akere. Then that's a straight rejection. More rejection, the rejection letter should state gore o rejectetswe eng. Okay? If it's one reason ba gona gore ba re business o batlang go e dira ga ena market. Like I said earlier about the letters of intent, the market is the most important because re batla go ira profit akere mo businessing. So ha le gore ga ke kgone go prove market wa me gore o teng, then it doesn't convince them gore ke ba tshwantse gore ba mphe fund. So then it's a rejection. Mme ha le gore wena o twa go twe Thato ga o itse go loga re go rejectile, mme wena o dumela gore o itse go loga e bile ona le proof ya gore o itse go loga, gona le mo go tweng appeal. Appeal ke mo e leng gore ya no nka re ka ikuela gore tshwetso e ke tserweng ke di-EDC ga ke dumalane le yone. So the appeal o isa gone ha le gore ko mo go ditshane o isa go office ya mo go ditshane kana mo Gaborone o isa go office ya mo go Gaborone, not go head office. But o kwala permanent secretary o bo le tsenya through office ko no isa application ya gago teng. Then the appeals board is sit on a quarterly basis. E lebelela all the appeals tse leng gore di teng mo kgaolong. No, not mo kgaolong, countrywide. Is it at head office level e share ke deputy permanent secretary. And then I had previously talked about the ceilings, the maximum that you can get. Kona le gore ke le Thato be ke tisa something that's different, that has never been done before. Me se thoka madi a mantsi. Ke me ke le nosi. Ho ya no PS, the permanent secretary, o kgona go tsaya tshwetsa gore me tha business ya ga Thato nka re o batla go ira sengwe se leng gore se different ga re se re go se bone before. A re se lekeletseng re bone gore o did work. Then ho ya no motsa tshwetsa gore le ha le nosi ga re mo 100,000 re ka oketsa madi a gago depending on the budget ya itsentse. That's the special consideration that is made solely by the permanent secretary. Okay? Ke tsa gore ke heditse. Then we'll talk about the application form later. Gona le potso.